What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. It's where we go back a week and give you all of your tech news from the past 7 days in one single video. And in this video, we go through a lot of the updates that have come out about the Galaxy Z Fold 3, the Galaxy S22 Ultra, as well as some Galaxy Z Fold 4 news as well, and obviously more than that. So without further ado, enjoy this tech week of new videos, and we'll see you down the road. I'm just a mouthful of marbles. Enjoy this week. Well, I got the update finally in the United States, obviously, because that's where I live, for the Galaxy One UI 4.1 update for my Z Fold 3. I know it's also out in the US for Note 20. I just saw an article about that, and I believe there was another phone as well. And I know it's rolling out, and it is in a lot of other places as well, but finally, the US got the update. And if you have the Z Fold 3, I kind of just wanted to roll through some of the things you might see just in case anything different does pop up. So without further ado, first of all, why don't we talk about the size of the update? It is a 1.16 gig update, so pretty big update for you, and you would expect that because it brought with it a lot of new features. It says right off the top, it says brings you the latest features for your Galaxy devices, more intuitive, more fun, more secure, and easier than ever. So I love that. So basically, you're going to get more options for portrait videos. You can capture great portrait photos even when your subject is far away. You can now record portrait videos with the 2x lens. You can get the full director's view, which means that you can you can do separate front and rear videos, so you can edit them later even after you're done recording. So use all the lenses basically at once on there. And then we have the update to the Gallery app. The Gallery app, you can do more with your memories, bring enhanced features, powerful remastering of your photos, more suggestions on terms of artistic portraits, and exciting highlight reels. You can add portrait effects so that you can add background blur to any picture with a person in view. So if you didn't set something up with portrait effect, which that's where it takes a photo of the person and then blurs out the background, you can now do that with unportraited photos in the Gallery app. You get portrait lighting, which will adjust the lighting to portraits even after you've taken them. Very, very cool. You also have your convert unnecessary motion photos to still images. And that'll save storage space by converting motion photos to still images. You can share albums as links, so no need to invite people to share albums individually anymore. Just create a link that can be shared with anyone. All your invitations together, easily accept invitations to shared albums, even if you miss the notifications. You can create time-lapsed videos now, turn a picture into a vivid 24-hour time-lapse video. You got your new AR zone stuff. Do you guys use that stuff? I never do. AR stuff on here. I just do not use that. Google Duo updates. You can do more calls, do more during video calls. You can share another app's screen during a video call. I believe you could do that before too. I don't remember not being able to do. Oh, I guess you can watch YouTube. That makes sense. Okay, that's cool. Share some photos, explore maps and more. Join video calls in presentation mode. During a video call on your phone, you can join the same call on your tablet in presentation mode. We'll have to check that one out. Samsung Health, I don't really use that, but you can get deeper insights into your health and enhance exercise tracking. You then have, oh, there's even built-in sleep habits and insights about your body composition and enhanced exercise tracking. You have your smart switch has been updated. You can transfer, which it could do all this stuff before, but whatever. It says more than ever. What's different there? It seems like you're transferring the same amount of stuff. Oh, I guess it's more. You get 3 options when transferring content to your new Galaxy. You can choose to transfer everything for your accounts. You could still do that last time. Get notified when you leave something behind. That's cool. So now you'll get, Apple already has that, but it'll notify you if you've left something behind whenever your smart tag is too far away to connect to your phone. I use some smart tags, but I use them on my keys. I still use those to this day. Found a lost device together. You can share the location of it. One UI gives you more options to share with others. You can share your Wi-Fi network. I'll do a video on that. I think that's a good video to do, so I will do a separate video on sharing your Wi-Fi network. Include editing history when you share pictures and videos. Color palette, smart suggestions, clean up shadows and reflections in photo editor. Add emojis to your calendar. Ooh, that's exciting. Choose apps for text correction in Samsung Keyboard. I use Gboard, but okay. More widely available keyboard options. Customize your sound balance between the left and the right speakers. New actions for Bixby routines, customize your virtual memory, which means you can go from, I think it was 2 to 8 gigabytes now on your Z Fold 3, which is cool. Game optimizing service. This is the, what is GSO? I can't remember the initials for it. Yeah, I think it's GSO app, so that now your gaming performance isn't tied to what they want you to do. It's based off the quality of how hot your phone is and stuff like that. And you can go in there and turn it into improved performance. And I've done a video on that, so just look for the GSO video on my channel. And that's it. That's what it was, a big update. So if you have a Z Fold 3, go in there and get it. Z Flip 3 got it too. That was the other device that got it. So Z Flip 3, Note 20, and Z Fold 3 all got it like yesterday, today. So make sure you go and download it from there. First story of the day is about what else? The iPhone 14 Pro, a phone that's going to come out in September of 2022. So a mere, what, 6 months away or so before it comes out, and it'll be in your hands. And we've seen kind of what it's going to look like. And here's some amazing 3D renders from the folks over at Let's Go Digital. And their headline, as you can see, is the one that says iPhone 14 Pro with renewed design. And obviously one of the big design changes on here is the front of the display. At the top, you see the camera built into the display rather than kind of just sitting in a big notch at the top. And I do like this design. I don't know about you guys. I think some people are gonna hate it, some people are gonna love it. It doesn't bother me at all. I like it. I like Face ID. I know some people want Touch ID to come back, but ultimately it still works really, really well, at least in my use cases where I've used it. So I'm happy with it. And then the overall camera design and like the design of the phone in an overall sense looks very similar to past iterations of the iPhone family, but still, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And they did amend it a little bit, and I think this will help with sales even when they make these little changes. As long as they make a slightly better phone every time, I think people are going to buy it, so it doesn't really matter. Next up is about the phone that's going to potentially kill the Galaxy Z Fold line. Now, is this phone probably going to come out everywhere? Probably not. Is it going to kill it? Probably not. It's just, what I mean by that is really the look and the specs of this phone are going to be probably much better than anything Samsung's going to put out, from the Z Fold 3 to the Z Fold 4, because of the look. Again, the look of this and the specs are just something Samsung's probably not going to try to match. So without further ado, let's check out the Vivo X Fold. It's officially been kind of announced again by the folks over at Vivo, and when we look at this phone, you can see it's going to look like this. You can see the camera design, big display. It's supposed to have a crease that's not as bad as the Galaxy Z Fold line. It will, as you can probably see as well on this photo, gonna have a bigger, fatter outside display. It's not gonna be as tall and skinny as what you get on the Z Fold line. So that's a huge, huge get for Vivo to be able to get that at a better look and feel probably on that outside display, because I still occasionally use it. My wife uses it a lot, but ultimately I live in that big display, but it still would be nice to have a nice kind of fatter, but not too fat, outside display and be able to use it a little bit more. Now let's look at the specs. You can see it's gonna have a 6.53-inch curved Full HD Plus OLED front display, whereas on the Galaxy Z Fold 3, you get 120 hertz. I think it's, what is 6.2, I'm drawing a blank, or 6.19 display, 6.23 I think it is. And then you get an 8-inch inside display at 2K LTPO OLED inner display with ultra thin glass. You also get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. The cameras inside are going to be a 50, 48, and 12 megapixel ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, meaning that it's going to be able to unlock the phone with a fingerprint underneath the display. I'm not a huge fan of that, but if it works, it works. 4,600 milliamp battery with 80-watt charging, which we've kind of heard the rumors about that, and that looks like it's going to come true. And it's 6.28 millimeters thick when open. So overall, I'm excited about this, and I would love, love, love to get my hands on this phone. Vivo has really, I think physically and really also spec-wise, made maybe the perfect, almost perfect folding phone. No, I don't love the camera design in the back. Would it make me from stop buying it? No. And then the other part of it is obviously the front display. You're like, oh, I want 2K on there. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be able to tell the difference? Probably not. And if they get everything else right with the brightness, obviously it's probably, I don't think there's gonna be at least from what I can see, I don't think there's gonna be S Pen integration or any kind of pen integration on that. That wouldn't bother me at all. And again, when I just look at those specs, and the look of it, it makes me happy. I'd be thrilled if Samsung was like, this is our phone. I'd be like, damn, this is awesome. This looks great. Fast charging, great processor inside, bigger displays on the outside and the inside, bigger battery. Like, what's not to like? Better cameras, what's not to like with that phone? That's the real question. I do have the one story though today, and it's all about how to cancel Samsung Care Plus. Because if you have Samsung Care Plus, it does not automatically cancel when you return the phone, or when you sell the phone, or when you delete the phone, or when you reset, or whatever you do. It doesn't just cancel itself. You need to make the priority of canceling it. And there's two ways to cancel it, and I'm gonna show you both ways of canceling it. So first of all, you could go the old-fashioned route, and probably the most reliable way maybe, but it's also probably gonna potentially take the longest, and that is calling on the phone. So the phone number that you wanna call when you call is the following: 866-371-9501. And obviously it's on the screen right now, you can see. That would be the number that you phone call. They might ask for like your IMEI number. I can't remember what they're gonna ask for. They probably won't, but if they do, you can find your IMEI number really, really easily. Just go into your settings, and then you can go into about phone, stuff like that, and find it there. But ultimately, you can also just type at the top after you get into settings, just type IMEI in the search box up there, and it'll come up as well. You can tap on it and give them the number. That should be if they need any number from your phone, that should be the only number they need, and that will cancel it. The other way is this, and this is super simple. You don't have to talk to anybody either. You can go into the Shop Samsung app. So download the Shop Samsung app if you don't already have it, but otherwise go into it, sign in with your Samsung account. Once you're in there, you're gonna hit the menu button in the top left, also known as the Hamburg menu. Once you're in that Hamburg menu, it's gonna list out a bunch of things that you can click on. You're gonna click on My Orders. Once you click on My Orders, then you're gonna see two tabs at the top: My Orders, My Subscriptions. Tap on My Subscriptions, and then from there, you can click on the exact subscription that you have for Samsung Care Plus, and then hit cancel after that. For some reason, I don't know if it never took, but my subscription that I have for Samsung Care Plus with my Galaxy Z Fold 3 doesn't show up on there. I don't know why. And it's either I don't have it and they never attached it to my account, even though I did. When I ordered my phone, I remember clicking the box to get it, or it's just not showing there. So that's why if you don't see it there, you might still want to call. Otherwise, if you are able to cancel it there, you should be safe and should be good from there. But yeah, those are the two ways to ultimately cancel Samsung Care Plus, because otherwise you're gonna start paying for it. So I know for myself, when I trade in that Z Fold 3, I am definitely going to call, because again, I don't see it under that subscriptions tab for some reason. So kind of weird, but yeah, still, it's something you do definitely want to know. Otherwise, you're going to end up paying like, I think it's $11.99 per month. The story of the day is about a device that potentially is coming out in the future that is completely crazy and completely wild, and I kind of still don't understand it, even from the information from the patent. So let's check this out. This is coming from Let's Go Digital, and it is, as you can see, Huawei Watch Buds. It's a smartwatch with built-in earbuds. The trademark application in Europe indicates that the arrival of Huawei Watch Buds, as the name suggests, it is a smartwatch with built-in ears. And then the little graphic above says Watch Buds combine smartwatch and earphone apparatus. And I'm still kind of confused by it. Is the way I feel like it sounds is like it's a smartwatch with earbuds on each side, and do they stay there? They're stationary, you can't remove them? Or can you take them off, put them in your ears, and then when you're done, put them back on the watch and they charge through the watch, and you won't lose them because they stick on there really, really mightily? Like, that's my question. I would rather have the latter, where they go on the watch. They don't add a lot of bulk. You can charge them on the watch, you can take them off on the watch and put them in your ears and put them back. That's what I would want, but I'm still kind of confused. And does this even interest you guys? at all, would you want a product like this? Let me know in the comments down below. And our last story of the day has to do with everyone's favorite phone, the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and a new update that's rolling out in South Korea, because if you have the Exynos version, there's a lot of people that hate that phone, or are really unhappy, I should say, due to the fact that the performance is bad, there's a lot of bugs. And for me, with the Snapdragon version, I'm pretty happy with that. I really don't have much to complain about. But if you have the Exynos, you might, and this update might help you a little bit, maybe in some of those areas, because it's a mighty, mighty big update, and it's rolling out right now. So check this out. I learned about this through Ice Universe, who went on to say that the Korean version of the S22 Ultra is pushing out a 1.5 gigabyte update package. VCK at the end, that's the update number. And it seems that the Samsung is working hard to fix the software problem. And obviously it's written in Korean, but someone was kind enough, Alvin, he was kind enough to translate this out, and it says changelog improved view cover usability so that you can swipe the clock to the right to see a list of notifications. It also brings improved camera usability, supports flash when using focus enhancer, and then also with the camera, optimized 4K video recording performance at 30 and 60 frames per second in low memory conditions. But other than that, it's really just seemingly beyond that, those three things, it seemingly is a bug fix and security update. And with that, there's obviously every phone has bugs, doesn't matter which phone it is. Hopefully it fixed a lot of the bugs that people on the Exynos side are having, and maybe on the Snapdragon as well, because this update will eventually roll out to the rest of the world. But it's a big, big update, and it seems like Samsung's working hard to fix things that potentially are wrong with their phones this year, and like they do every year, and hopefully it will bring fixes that you are having issues with, and that remains to be seen what else is included within it. Maybe there's more stuff that they're not mentioning. Maybe there's a couple more features that are a little more hidden under the hood that aren't so big, but maybe are big to you and me. So we'll have to wait and see. The story of the day is about the Galaxy S20 and S21. This is the S22, and also the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus in your right to repair. There's something cool coming this summer. Check out this headline. It's coming from the folks over at Sam Mobile, who are saying that Samsung will help US customers repair their own Galaxy devices. And what they mean by that is with the help of iFixit, which is a self-repair website, Samsung is going to give you all of the necessary tools and how-to guides and official first-party accessories so you'll be able to fix your back glass, your front glass, and your charging ports come this summer for those devices. Again, the S20s, the S21s, and the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, so that you won't have to send these off to repair. They will literally send you the parts, all genuine parts, and how-to guides step by step by step. And it's gonna come out. And I don't know, obviously there'll be a cost to it, but it is gonna start launching this summer, and it's launching in the US. Very exciting if you're into that. I still, myself, would rather send it off to Samsung to have them fix it, or iFixit, or somebody to really do it besides me, because I'm not so great with that. But what about you guys? Let me know in the comments down below if you would rather fix it yourself or have somebody else. Next up is about this phone, the Galaxy Z Fold 4, or at least the successor to this phone, and some more information coming out about this phone, potentially new information, because it could be just rumor, and it also could just be information that's more opinion than anything, because it doesn't ultimately say where the source is from. But still, it's nice to talk about it, because some of the stuff we've heard and some of the stuff would be new. So let's talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 4, a phone that I'm extremely excited about. So these tweets are coming from Anthony the Galax, who says the Galaxy Z Fold 4 will be thinner and lighter than the Z Fold 3, which is a nice welcome addition. That'll be a big seller. People already hold this phone and are like, wow, that's heavy. Battery similar to the Z Fold 3 at 4,400 milliamps. Bit of a disappointment on there. Obviously, you want a bigger battery. Camera improved. Don't expect S22 Ultra-like cameras on the phone. That will be under 6.8 millimeters thin when open. But again, we should be getting S22, S22 Plus cameras. As for the display, you should get better quality, more durable, and less noticeable crease. which all leads to a better experience overall. Hopefully we can get more brightness and just better quality display. When it says better quality, means that maybe better resolution, just better overall. So I'm looking forward to that. I love the display, but I mean, if you can make it better, why not? The design improved, obviously nothing in terms of what that means. Marketing, luxury device, certainly going to market it as a luxury device, which they kind of already do now, but maybe even more so. Naming will depend on the region. It'll either be called the Z Fold 4 or just the Fold 4, again, depending upon where you are. I think countries that are closer to Russia are calling it just the Fold 4. Overall, everything except the battery will get big improvements. Price is expected to remain $17.99. Now, the price for me is a disappointment because I was fully expecting, and it might be, obviously he's not saying where his source is from, but the price, if you're looking at $17.99, it's still going to be a luxury device that most people will not buy. They're going to look at an $1,800 price and be like, nope, too much for me, I'm not going to pay for that. It really needs to jump below $1,500 and then even closer to, you know, the $1,200 mark before most people are like, you know what, I'm going to consider that phone as my main phone. But right now it's still not going to be a absolute huge seller when you compare it to something like the Galaxy S22 Ultra or the Note phone or some other phone as well. So it just depends, but I'm still excited. I'm willing to pay that price because the Fold line is my main phone. It's the phone that intrigues me the most that Samsung puts out. And it's also the phone that there's enough wrong with it that I would definitely want to upgrade and be excited about it, because if you can give me better cameras and you can give me a better display and you can give me better durability and you can make it feel lighter and potentially give me an S Pen and all that stuff, then I'm like, okay, this feels like a nice upgrade. And I went searching, found some stuff on Reddit that I was like, you know what, I want to make some videos about that. So both things are going to be about the camera, and then we'll answer your questions at the end of the story, end of the news. So without that, let's get into the tech news stories of the day. So again, everything that we're going to do is going to be inside of the camera. So it's very easy to do this. So what we're going to do is open up your camera, and the first thing I'm going to show you is how to take raw photos. You might have heard this being a new feature within the last couple of updates for Samsung Galaxy devices, and I'm going to show you how exactly to do it. So the first thing you want to do is go into the gear at the top left and go into settings. Let me just take a step back. Go into settings, click that gear, and then you're looking for picture formats. Tap on picture formats, change it to raw copies. You're gonna add it basically. So it's not gonna change all your photos to raw, which means that basically they're not compressed. JPEGs is what they're usually saved as. Compress the photo so that it does lose a little bit of quality. You might not notice it, but if you keep it as a full raw photo, then you're gonna get a much higher quality photo that you can go in there and edit and zoom in or do whatever kinds you want to it. Hit the back button after you turn that on, hit the back button again, and then next you want to go into Pro mode. If you don't see Pro mode at the bottom here, just hit more and then go to Pro. And when you take a photo with Pro mode, because this is the only mode it works in, it's going to save 2 copies. One as a JPG, one as a RAW file, and I'll show you that in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo here real quick. Bam! Not a great photo, but a photo nonetheless. And when I open up my photos, I'm gonna see 2 of the same photo, so I can swipe through, and there you go. And you can look at the differences, because if you hit the 3 dots in the bottom right and then go into details, you can see that this first one is 2.89 megabytes. And then we're gonna go to the next one, which is this one, and we're gonna hit the 3 dots and we're gonna go to details. And you see this one's 23 meg. So the 23 meg one is the raw one, and the one that is 2 megabytes, that one is the JPG. So that's how you take a raw photo. You end up with 2 copies, which can be a pain in the butt, I guess, if you look at it that way, but ultimately you get an uncompressed image with your camera if you want to take some, or at least try to take some crazy photos. And the last little trick I want to show you is when you take a photo, maybe you want to downsize it for whatever reason. You want to reduce the quality or the resolution of the photo. I'm going to walk you through a way to do that. From what I remember, I could have swore there used to be a way when you take a photo that you could ultimately choose like a lower resolution photo. I didn't see that in the options anymore. So the option would be to do it in the gallery app. So open up your gallery app, go into the photo in question, hit the pencil, and then hit the 3 dots on the right-hand side, and then go to resize. You're gonna see resize at the bottom. Tap that and you can do this anything from 20%, 40%, 60%, 80% quality, and from there. And like, so say if I wanted it to be 20%, I'll hit that and then hit done and then hit save at the top right. And there you go. Now my photo is a lot smaller. I'll go in there and go to details, and you can see that the photo is now 100 KB rather than being 2 or 3 megabytes. The only story of the day has to do with the next generation of this phone. This is the Galaxy Z Fold 3. The next generation will be the Galaxy Z Fold 4 or Galaxy Fold 4 if they call it that. And about the bezels. Now we've kind of spoken about the bezels, but I guess this is just further confirmation about it. But you know, the bezels, especially on this big screen, are pretty freaking small and getting smaller. And it could be a thing of beauty or a thing of marvel, I should say, more than anything. So check this out. This is coming from Anthony the Galax, who's not telling us exactly where he's getting this information. So it could be him just saying, hey, this is what I think. But ultimately, when we read this, saying both displays on the Z Fold 4 will have thinner bezels compared to the Z Fold 3. Overall, it's a very sleek device. Now, let's talk about this, because when we look at the bezels, especially on the front, I think there is some room for improvement around there. You could definitely make those bezels smaller, especially at the top and on the sides. Like, you can do some stuff there. Now, is it gonna make it that much more amazing if they do thin out those bezels? Probably not, because they're already pretty thin as we look at it right now. And then on the bigger display, looking at those bezels, those also, I guess, could be trimmed down ever so slightly. But again, is it gonna make that much of a dent, that much of a difference if they do that? And if you think they are gonna do that, because there's rumors that the displays aren't gonna be really bigger by any means, but you know, if they do make it, you know, a little bit skinnier, are they gonna make it a little bit smaller too at the same time, physically, the phone, but keep the display sizes basically the same? Or are they just gonna keep everything the same on the width of all these phones, the inside and the outside, but make the bezel smaller and the display gonna be basically the same size? So it remains to be seen, but I guess like any kind of change that we're gonna get is gonna be great, because Z Fold 4, I mean, there's things that are gonna come out and be about that phone, have it be the better cameras, better display, better durability, things like that that are gonna potentially make you wanna upgrade. Potential S Pen support built right into the phone. Battery's supposed to be basically the same. I don't know, but yeah, I'd rather see other improvements rather than smaller bezels, because I think they're needed, and maybe we'll get those as well. But Z Fold 4, remember, August, probably September timeline. I wouldn't even be surprised that much if it did fall into September, due to the fact that a lot of other phones are kind of being slightly delayed by weeks or months. But again, it remains to be seen, and we're just, what are we in now? We're in April, so you're looking at all of April, May, June, July, August. Basically 5 months from now, we should definitely have, or be very close to having, a new folding phone in hand. Your question of the day is, what scares you most about folding phones? Let me know in the comments down below. I think for me, it's really just the big screen cracking. It's like, oh my God, don't crack, don't let me drop you and break. I mean, obviously the outside display breaking would be a pain in the butt, but ultimately I live on that inside display. So for me, that's my biggest fear. Let me know about you guys, your biggest fear about having a folding phone. With that said, let's get to the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question comes from Paul Lassard saying, I have a 2021 Chevy Equinox. It's up and down. How to install, need help. So what he's talking about is, I put out a video for the Samsung has this car charger, wireless charger that you can put your phone in. It mechanically opens up and you can put your phone in, and it holds your phone and it wirelessly charges it at the same time. It's literally compatible with the Galaxy Z Fold lines all the way down to their regular candy bar phones. And he's asking me how to install it into the vent. And I had a little bit of trouble. I had to watch someone else's video to figure it out, because Samsung really wasn't much of any help. And from what I remember, you know whose video I watched to see how to install it? He was like, my name is R-I-C-K-Y, YouTube Tech Guy. Ricky, YouTube Tech Guy. Just type YouTube Tech Guy and you'll find him. Ricky, his name is. He has a same video on that. And that's where actually I watched his, like, oh, that's how you do it. But it's pretty easy to install. Mine, again, are obviously horizontal. Yours are gonna be, you said yours are vertical. So yours still should work. You probably just have to turn the thing. And basically, I think it just snaps on like that. And our last question is very thought-provoking, and it's coming from Tim Grosson. And just to give you context before I even read his question, I did a video yesterday talking about how to take raw photos with your Galaxy phone and the setting to turn on. Basically, the setting you turn on is you go into the camera app and you go into settings of the camera, and then you go into picture formats, and then you choose raw. And then when you go into pro mode on your camera, of the Galaxy phone, you can, any photo you take will take a JPEG and then also a raw photo. But what he's asking is, if you can take raw photos in pro mode, what's the expert raw app for? And I wasn't really sure what he was talking about. I didn't even know about the app, but there's an app you can go into the Galaxy store and download. I couldn't on my Z Fold 3, it doesn't show up, I'm assuming because it's not compatible with that phone, but I could on my S22 Ultra, so Expert RAW, I went into that. It is a little bit of a difference. And I wanna tell you this, before we dive in too much. If you're going to, you can use the method I gave you, which should be, at the end of the day, basically be about the same. The quality-wise, it should probably be, again, exactly the same. The big difference is you don't have to, with the Expert RAW app, you literally download the app. You have a separate app just for raw photos, and it allows you to use that app so that you can just take raw photos. And then the camera app, you can go JPEG or raw photos, but this is definitely easier because you don't have to go through that, and then you don't have to go into pro mode. This is just an app. I would say download this app. There's a couple of things different. One of the things different is, I can't think what they call these things, but it basically tells you the lighting, how the lighting is gonna be. You can turn this little thing off right here. I don't know if you can see that. I think it's called histogram. I think that's what it's called. But basically it'll show you how noisy the photo is gonna be or whatever, so you can get more light on it or whatever if you want to. And then the other thing was going into settings, at least the things that I noticed. This has a high efficiency RAW, so it'd still take a raw photo, but basically it says it saves space by capturing raw pictures in high efficiency format. So it had that feature versus what the regular camera app did not have. Those are the couple things that I noticed. So I would say, and thank you for showing me this, download the Expert RAW photo if you want to take raw photos. You can still use the method I used, no problem with that at all, but also check out this app as well. Thank you so much, guys. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below. If you have any questions, like I said, just put it in there, the first word being question, and we'll see you down the road.